Okay. All right. Yay. All right. So I'm just so excited to be back to the gut protocol. I mean, I know I could have been doing it all summer, but I didn't. And so I'm really excited to be back. I did portion fix instead. And now I'm kind of like, I just love the GP. So super excited to get this group going and to talk about all of the pieces. And before we even do anything, if there's any, feelings of this is so much, what's happening, what's going on, you're not going to mess it up. Okay. I mean, you're going to mess it up, but you're not going to mess it up so far that we can't just work through it and figure things out. So don't feel like if, the first few days you're like, I totally ate some wrong things or I ate in the wrong container or whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing bad is going to happen. We will figure it out together and work through it. It feels new for a little while, but I feel like this plan, at least for me, came together so much more quickly than any other plans that we have used and talked about with Beachbody. And so this one just, I don't know, just kind of, it made sense. It came together the way we'll, show our pictures of our food. You'll see how the, meals come together pretty easily when you're just kind of eating to the container and making bowls and figuring things out initially. And of course, there's tons of great recipes in there in the system, and rumor has it they're adding more. We don't know when some of those come in, but there's always more coming, always dropping recipes on Body. So okay, so we're supposed to be done through the first 2 videos. And in those first 2, Autumn kind of gets you acquainted to what's happening. One of my favorite parts, and we will go through this in our first week for sure, is the whole idea of eating 30 plants in a week. And that may seem like a crazy big number, but as we get into it, you'll see there's so many options with your herbs, with how you're putting different vegetables together that we can all hit 30 pretty easily. And I will put there's a cute little stories, what do you call it? Like a graphic where you can fill in what you've eaten. And so then we can share that in the chat. And, as people are getting to 30, or maybe, on day 1, you get to 10 and you're like, hey, look at me, I'm at 10. Let's all great. Let's share that kind of stuff. And then people will also, I'm sure, get ideas for different vegetables to try and things to put on their list. And it's not just fruits and vegetables. We went through this our first time where we're all like, wait, rice is a plant, right? Yeah. Okay. So rice, oatmeal, help me out here, quinoa, all the things that came from a plant, right? All count. So make sure you're listing those things too, not just the things we traditionally talk about as plants being fruits and vegetables. So that was one cool thing. And if you watch that second video add-on, she talks about how that's the biggest indicator of gut health is having those 30 plants in a week, because it really, really affects your microbiome, and just feeding the good stuff in there, getting enough fiber for your system to work through. So that will definitely be a focus. So if you're, I also don't want you to get bored with your food, right? Like if you're eating broccoli every single day, you may not get to 30, right? So this is our time to innovate, try something new, throw something in with it, and see what tastes good. And give it a chance, maybe even if it's something that you previously didn't love. I think we all have. Yeah, go ahead, Mariana.
Do you have any tips or tricks for like the grocery shopping and getting in 30 plants? I mean, 30 plants, it sounds like so much. I mean, if I did a calculation 7 days a week, that's like 4 plants a day and you only hit 28. So how do you grocery shop for that? Because I don't want to load my groceries cart up with like 30. That would just look, I don't know. I don't even know what that looks like.
Right.
So yeah, what do you do?
I think first, so, and before we go too far too, this first week, we are cooking vegetables right now, especially if this is your first time in this program. This is a really important step because it helps your body digest easier with cooked versus raw. And we are going to be introducing a lot of fiber. So let's say you're going to roast a sheet pan of vegetables. You could put 5 vegetables on there. Now you've got 5 plants, right? So just in one bowl. So you could do carrots, onions, beet, sweet potatoes, all of, the things you like, roast it up and then put it in a bowl. You can have some chicken, have it with some quinoa. There's another plant. Throw some herbs in there. There's some more plants. Put some arugula with it to have a little crunch or something, or spinach. You could cook some spinach, put some spinach in it, things like that, where you're just introducing more options or more things. So instead of just a, cup of broccoli, have broccoli, carrots, and peppers, or, something like that. That's how I found it pretty easy to get through.
It's a lot easier than you think.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shopping list
It'll be
wise,
fun.
it's a little, Bev put a great list in the chat, but it's a little hard to say this is the shopping list, right? Because you're going to like things that maybe I'm not going to want. And I'm not eating soy or eggs, and you might be eating soy and eggs. So automatically we have different lists. Oh yeah. Soy is a plant too, right? So there's your tofu is a plant. So, it's one of those things where I would encourage you to have staples on hand, things that you'll eat, and then introduce a few new things each week.
Yeah, Bev's grocery shopping list was the most amazing thing I think I've seen in a hot minute. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I loved it. Yeah, if you're not in this chat, get in the chat and then scroll up to find her shopping list.
Right.
I don't know, put that on your social media or something, Bev. That is wow, I'm going to be clinging to that for dear life. It's amazing.
That was off the top of my head. I didn't even I'm sure I was missing things too, but that was
I
just,
thought it was amazing.
it's what I have right this second that I can think of. But good.
Yeah. All good stuff. So yeah, and and it'll be fun during this first week to kind of see, where you're at in your count. So I encourage everybody to keep, if you have a plant, then just add, I did it just on my notes. I'll also have those, neat little graphics that you can fill in if you want to throw the picture in the chat, but it's kind of fun just to see what everybody's having and how that works out. Okay, let's see. Has anybody heard any questions from the first two videos that we need to answer? Okay. Those are pretty much just explaining the beginning part of the program and then the whole plant idea. Okay, so we're going to dive into a couple things about that you're going to watch in the next videos, and that's about your containers. So the first thing, several people are doing a different workout program than 4 weeks for everybody. Totally great. The difference is you will want to go into that program and use that calculation for how many calories you should have. So if you're doing Lift More, you would go into the Lift More, program calculation. It'll have it for weight loss, for maintenance, for bulking, and you'll go into that and use that calculation to figure out your calories. You'll then take that calorie amount, go into the gut protocol, and find how many containers you have each day. And that's important because 4 weeks for everybody is pretty much considered no exercise because it is a smaller amount. It's less than 30 minutes and it's 4 days a week. So it is being calculated as not even a moderate, right? So if you're doing something that's moderate, or what's the other word, moderately challenging, is that the two categories? then you will definitely want to calculate for those programs. Otherwise, you may find yourself with a lack of energy and really hungry.
So you're saying, Deanna, that if we're doing a Lift More, we're doing a Sculpt and Sexy or whatever the new one is called. I don't know. Isn't
That's
it
a great name for it? It's Sweat and Sculpt, but I like Sculpt and Sexy. You should have been on the branding.
Call me. Okay, so if you're doing one of those new programs, old programs, you want to go to that program guide and find what their caloric breakdown is, and then do the gut protocol with it.
Right. So yeah. So let's give an example of 21 Day Fix, right? So it's usually your weight times 11, and then maintenance, that's what maintenance is. And then you would minus 350 if you're in weight loss. You'd add 400, I think, if you're going into bulk. So those, you would then take the calorie total you get and
Mhm.
find that bracket in the gut protocol, because the containers in the 21-day fix program are not going to be the same as the containers in the gut protocol program.
Right,
There's
you would just go
vegetable-
over.
Yeah, exactly. So
Cool.
you're just finding that total calories that you're assigned. And if this is your first time too, I would trust the process, right? So if whatever it's telling you, because it may be, if you've been a calorie tracker, it may be telling you to eat more. You know what I mean? It's just, no matter where you're at, just trust the process to begin with. Go in, and we can talk about it in later weeks about what things look like if maybe you're not in the right plan. But let's start on a plan first. Start with where you're assigned. Autumn did mention, even in maintenance, you will likely lose some weight. So I would say if you're like around where you want to be, maybe you're in that 5 to 10 pound range, you would just stay in maintenance. If you're more than a 10-pound weight loss that you'd like to see, then go to that weight loss bracket. And I actually was in the bulk, the bracket above maintenance, and I lost 3 pounds in the first 4 weeks. So, you just have to you'll see how it works with your body. Some of that's going to be inflammation coming off. Some of that could just be you tracking, right? And getting in what you think you're getting in. So, okay. So then let's talk, okay. Yeah. So that's the calorie plan with different workouts. And if anyone has questions about any of this, throw it in the chat, because I'm sure somebody else will too. Once we kind of get it all figured out, it's a breeze. But it's just kind of thinking about things in a different way, and I promise it will all come together. So the difference here with gut protocol is we don't have just reds, yellows, greens anymore, right? We have reds that are a red A and a red B. And the red part is your protein. And that's meant to be vegan proteins and animal proteins. Now you may be on the vegan plan, and so then you're just vegan proteins, right? Plant proteins. But there is a hybrid plan where you're doing part plant proteins, part meat proteins. So that's where the A and the B come in. So when you have meat protein, that's going to be A. And when you have plant protein, that's going to be B. And the reason those are segregated out and different is she's allowing quinoa, beans, lentils to all be proteins, because they do have a higher macro of protein than other plants. And you're getting more fiber and then more plants in your week, right? Whereas a normal portion fix plan, or the way Alana's plan is with To Be Mindset, it's meat, protein, plants, carbs, or carbs. Unless you're on the vegan plan. So that's red. Yellow is where it gets just a little bit sometimes interesting, because you have a yellow A that is going to be, I would call it like a whole plant, right? So just quinoa, not a starchy carb, so not potatoes. It's going to be just that singular thing. Whereas if you have a yellow B, this is where your quinoa pastas come in, or your lentil pastas. So it can be a little bit more processed, and or the starchy, potato, sweet potato, those kinds of things. So that's the breakdown of those 2 items. And I know the plan I was on last time, I had 2 yellow A's and I had 1 yellow B. And I think maybe plan B is 1 and 1. I can't remember exactly. So if for some reason that gets messed up in the day, it's not the end of the world. Okay. So I don't want anybody getting freaked out about that. You'll get into a rhythm with it. where you'll be like, okay, I need just brown rice and then I need some roasted potatoes later, right? You'll get into a rhythm of kind of knowing how that works. Now for tracking, I tend to track in the app. You can track on paper, you can track in the app. There is not the A/B designator in the app, but you'll just have to go off total count. And again, as you're kind of getting into it, it'll, you'll get in a rhythm.
So
Oh,
you
I
use
forgot
the
kombucha
20
is also yellow bee. Sorry.
you use the 21-day fix app?
So I use the tracking app. Hang on, let's
Hi.
so under
It's
in
already
your
on the
bod,
hand app.
and then you hit the tracking down here, right? So then you're in this section and there's your containers. So I'm just in the bod.
Oh, tracking.
Yes.
Oh, look at
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. a
So
whole new
yeah, and
world.
then you can
window.
edit your containers. Oh, there we can see it. You can edit your containers. Now this has a food list link. It will just take you to Portion Fix food list or To Be Mindset food list that you're on. So you'll just need to go into the program section to catch the gut protocol food list.
Wow, this look,
It's fancy, isn't it?
it's like a
You can
whole
log
world.
this is where you can log your workouts too. Like, let's say you missed the prompt that says share your workout. You
That
can go
prompt
right
is
there
very
and share
custom.
it, or you
Yeah.
can share your Shakeology.
What? Your nutritionals? Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Look at this. Thank you. This is amazing.
It is, isn't it? And it's all, that's what I love. It's all right here, right? Like you're in the grocery store and you're like, "Ooh, I need something to eat tonight." Okay, I just go over the gut protocol. I go into my recipes section, look something up really quick, grab the foods I need. You're off and running. Or like, you're like, oh, I need a yellow bee. So I run over here to the food list and I'm like, okay, I need a yellow bee. What's it going to be?
That's amazing.
All in one
You
hand.
have a whole new toy to play with now, Mariana.
I
know.
clear my weekend. Amazing.
You're going to be up all night tonight. Just be like, did you see
Right?
it? Can you believe
Yeah.
it?
Ladies, guard your Facebook Messenger because I will be no doubt screen sharing, sending all sorts of really neat. Wow, I'm learn something new every nutritional call, Deanna.
Well, I'm so glad. That's why we're here for, right?
I can tell you, I ate in maintenance for gut protocol and I lost 5 pounds, and I've never eaten that much food in my life.
Wow.
And I still
It's
lost.
gonna feel volume, yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, I think we were in B, right? So that had like 6 containers of vegetables. Mine had 7 containers of vegetables. I mean, that's 7 cups, right? Like, I don't know how often you were eating 7 cups of vegetables plus all the other foods before, but yeah, you're gonna get plenty of food.
Yeah, a lot.
It's gonna all be good. Oh, and let's talk about that really quick. So if you are not used to eating a lot of food, first, your body is gonna, feel this a little bit, right? So this first week, that's partly why we're doing the cooked vegetables. That will help lower some bloating, but you're gonna be introducing more fiber. So you might have some bloating this first week. There is gonna be some adjustment. Your body will adjust. It will also adjust to the volumes of food. And as you get through it, you'll feel hungrier as you get to that next meal, right? Because it's getting used to everything. If you have to miss containers, don't miss the same container each day. And that's a have to, right? Like if you just can't do it, I get it, that's fine. But don't miss the same ones, right? Make sure you're mixing that up a little bit. So that you're not missing out on some micronutrients that may be provided with those containers.
Is hummus allowed on the plan?
It is.
All right.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's a blue still.
Nice.
Oh,
And it's, yes, you get your quarter cup, which is so funny because I swear if I take it out of the container, I do not give myself enough. But if I put it in that blue container, I'm like, oh, look at all this hummus.
It's so much. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, basic, like oils that we were eating before, that's all on your teaspoons, seeds, all in your orange, olives, Fats, obviously you're not gonna have dairy, so you won't have the cheese anymore, but I always did hummus or some almonds. Trying to think of what else I did. Oh, avocado. Yeah. Avocado is easy to throw on there. And you know what else I found too? Like, because avocados are the crazy little creatures that somehow go past ripe in a matter of seconds. So one time we were at Costco and they had those little smashed avocado packs, and I just threw them in my freezer and it worked great. Like I could literally, when I was ready to eat and I'm like, oh, I need a blue, I could take it out, put it under a little hot water to just kind of defrost it, and then I've got avocado. And it was the perfect serving size. So FYI.
That's a good life hack. Like
Yeah.
that.
So any questions on, figuring out your calories and or containers?
I
Anything?
figured out mine and I don't know how I'm gonna do it.
Are you gonna get it? Yeah. Well, this will be a good thing to see, because I know you've talked about, having finding enough food and having a budget.
Yeah.
So, this will be one of those things too, where you could see where frozen sales, right? That kind of stuff, and just trying to in bulk beans or bulk lentils or things like that, right? That you like already. Obviously, if you haven't had them,
Yeah.
I wouldn't bulk it just yet.
Oh, when we were at Sam's, they had the 12-pound pinto beans.
Oh yeah.
So we made our 2-pound that we had right already, but we gotta still make the large one. And then I bought the big bag of cauliflowered rice.
Yes.
At the store. But at Sam's Club, I got a bag 3 times the size for $2 cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
I
always
got a
get
ton
mine
of
at
that
Costco.
and
Yeah.
finally put it in my shake.
Oh,
I
nice.
finally put it in the shake.
Did you like it?
Yeah, actually I did. I mean, I like cauliflower, but never really, I'm like, do I try it? Do I try it? Everybody keeps talking about
Yeah.
it. And I finally did it. So
Yeah, that's a great tip, right? So if you're having a hard time getting those 5, 6, or 7 cups of vegetables in whatever plan you're on, right? Then throw in I do butternut squash in just about anything chocolate, cookies and creamy, or vanilla chai. It was
Okay.
great vanilla chai. So I just buy it frozen at the store. And then but now if you got it fresh, you could cube it and freeze it, right? You
yeah.
had some kind of a bulk sale. And then cauliflower rice is also awesome. And then spinach is an easy veggie to add to any shake. And doesn't change, none of those change the flavor of anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also sneak spinach into mine in the chocolate Shakeology. I'll put it a handful of spinach into it. It does make it a little bit of a green, but just don't look at
Yeah.
it when you're frying.
And spinach freezes really well.
I was just gonna say that
Does it?
exact same thing, Sue. Yeah. So
Okay,
if you get the big
I'll have to
container and
get
you're
it.
like, oh no, I'm not gonna get through this, I just shove it in the freezer and then pull it from there.
Okay.
Keep it nice and.
Yeah, I'll have to do
when you put
that.
it in the freezer and it freezes really well.
Yeah.
Do you put it in with a Ziploc bag, or can you just put it in the container it comes in?
If I have room in the freezer, I just stick it in the container because I'm lazy. So I
know.
don't repackage it.
You can also put the rice cauliflower in your oatmeal. That also is super easy. And I actually made the To Be Mindset pancakes the other day and put cauliflower in there. And that was really good as well.
Try that.
So
Yeah, you can hide rice cauliflower in so many things. I mean, anywhere, if you were making any kind of dish with rice, like a brown rice or whatever, throw in some rice cauliflower, right? It's just going to blend in and act the same way.
Yeah.
Don't you hide it in your tacos, Deanna, for your kids?
Yes, I put it in the meat. Yeah, I put it in the beef
Yeah.
or turkey, and then I put the seasonings in so all of it gets colored the same way, right? With the seasoning. And then my kids have no idea. They eat rice cauliflower all the time.
Might be able to get my brother to eat it that
There
way.
you go.
Totally could. As long as they're not in the kitchen, just, mix it up, serve it like a taco, like normal, and don't even act like there's anything different. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So then let's talk about fermented foods. This is one of our favorite subjects. I think when we started in the spring, a few of us were like, okay, I've tried a few things, but it turned into like fermented frenzy where we were like sharing different products every day. And of course, in our chat, we will certainly put pictures. We've already started with a few things, but as we get into this, we'll be putting in pictures of different fermented foods. And it's funny because Autumn recommends 3 times a week. And part of that is this is a beginner, right? We're beginning to take over our gut health, and this is getting started. That's why there's also the hybrid plan. It's not like you're going on a full vegan plan, so that you're getting adjusted to it. But I would say if you like fermented foods, then feel free to have those more than 3 times. Not the kombucha, okay? But like if you have fermented kraut, or I've got some fermented turnips in my refrigerator right now. So different things like that. I just put like a 1/4 cup-ish, depending on how big my bowl already is, with any kind of bowl I'm having. It brings a little saltiness and whatever flavor it is of what you're having, right? So like or in the spring, I had a curried cauliflower that was fermented, and it was just amazing with that the Buddha bowl we did with the tahini dressing, and it was like a lemon tahini dressing and some other roasted vegetables, and it just all paired really well and tasted great. So don't be afraid to try some of those things. I think previously, like I think before we got into it, I know like I thought of fermented as vinegary, but it's really briny. So salty, not too salty, just a little salty. It's not really a vinegar component. So if you haven't been in it before, then give it a try. And do you guys have anything to add about fermented foods?
Talk about coconut yogurt and
Yeah.
how it's used.
Glad. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad Emily brought that up. So, okay. So it's a blue, right? Coconut yogurt is a fermented food. It's a blue, but I'm pretty positive we measured it in a red. Is that right? Does everybody remember that part? Did we measure the coconut yogurt in a red? Because I feel like Autumn made something one time and it looked like it was a 2/3 cup versus a 1/4 cup. So I thought it counted as a blue, but it's measured in a red.
Well, but it doesn't have that much protein, if any.
Oh, I just mean the amount you get. It still counts as a blue. That's why it
Oh,
counts as blue.
It's a red.
But you get a
measure it in
larger amount.
Yeah, you measure it in a red, but it counts as, that's correct. I do actually remember that. I remember this whole conversation of confusion.
Is anybody on the food list right now to look?
I
and see?
am. I'm trying to find
Okay,
it.
see if it's
So I'm looking, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one is a little bit out there, but and it is a fermented, and I can't remember who meant, I think it was Lily mentioned looking for an unsweetened. That is tricky, and most of the time we found it in the bigger that wasn't single serve. It was in the bigger containers. Is about the only way you could find the plain unsweetened. And you will all find with everything, you pick up your product, you turn it around to look at the label, because that's where the information that matters most is. See if there was any sugar added, what's in the ingredients, because it can say like no sugar added or unsweetened or whatever, and then you turn it around and it's got some kind of artificial sugar in it, or something you don't want. So make sure you're turning all those labels around to see.
So per the food list, it says cultured coconut yogurt unsweetened is approximately 2/3 a cup. So
That's a red. Yeah.
It's counted as a blue, measured as a red.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Perfect. Yeah. And there's a parfait recipe in the Gut Protocol recipes that looked really good. I know I didn't make that one. I think I had coconut yogurt one time. I never wanted to give up my blue for the coconut yogurt. I wanted it for other things. So
That's
yeah,
what
so
I found it. That's what I found as well.
Yeah.
I bought the coconut yogurt like in prep week, and then I ate it once, and then I never ate it again because I was like, oh, I'm not giving up my blue for that.
Oh, I remember what we used it for too. We made that fruit dip with the Shakeology and coconut. Oh, that was so good too. Yeah, that was
Mhm.
good. That's in, if anybody wants to search it, that's in the, I think it's the May meal prep class recipes. So, okay.
What was that again?
What'd you say?
What was that recipe again?
It was called fruit dip. Let me see if I can search it.
Oh,
real-
okay.
Yeah, it's like it was a Shakeology plus coconut yogurt and a little bit of plant milk. And I mean, in the recipe,
Okay.
I think it called for regular yogurt, but we were all still on the gut protocol, so we did it with coconut yogurt and then used it. It was
Okay.
kind of a thick pudding-ish. It was great by itself, but you could also use it as like a fruit dip.
Okay, I think I
I
have that
use-
recipe
Is
somewhere,
it the
actually.
cookies and creamy fruit dip?
I think that's right. Yep.
Yeah, here, I'll drop the link in the chat. So you can,
Perfect.
there you go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then so we just swapped out coconut and I think we used a little less plant milk. So I would just, stir as you go to see how thick you want it. Because coconut yogurt is a little thinner than like some Greek
Mhm.
yogurt.
Yeah. It's so good.
I used a cashew yogurt
Mm,
Oh,
because I couldn't find coconut yogurt that didn't have sugar near me, and we were able to find a cashew yogurt.
Mm.
So, but yeah, and I can't remember what the conversions were. You helped me with it back then.
maybe watch our video when we're cooking it. I'm sure we talked about it.
Yeah, I really don't know because I didn't do it actually that day because I couldn't
Oh,
find the
okay.
yogurt before then. So, or maybe yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it at a different time. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, good. Okay. Let's see. Are there any other fermented food discussions? Make sure that kombucha is a half a yellow. So what is that for? Was it 4 ounces? 4 ounces, half a
Mhm.
yellow, no more than 3
3
times.
times a week.
Yep.
Yeah. No more than 3 times a week. I
Yeah,
found
is
a
it
new
yellow?
fermented food.
Oh,
is
what'd you find?
The food list says 6 ounces.
Oh, is it 6 ounces? Okay, good.
6
That's
ounces,
even
and it's
better because I
counted
think
as a
that's
yellow.
I think that's what I was doing because they're 12-ounce bottles.
Yeah, and it's a
They
yellow.
changed it then. Because it was 4 ounces because it was so weird because you had to split the bottles up, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
This is from when we originally did it, so.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Wild
so that
brine.
Wild Brine is the same brand that Lily gets in her beet kraut.
that's
yeah.
what and I get my kimchi and my kraut. And this was right next to it today.
Hmm.
And it's probiotic smoky jalapeno sriracha, raw
Ooh.
live fermented. It's
Huh.
cabbage, jalapeno peppers, garlic, Anaheim peppers, kale, tomatillos, sea salt, cherry wood, smoked salt.
Yum.
sounds spicy.
Mhm. Well,
Tried it.
my husband absolutely loves spicy, so I got it for him so that he can start adding a little bit of this because he hasn't been doing the probiotics as much. I've been continuing to do both of them. I've been continuing to do the probiotics or the fermented foods, and everybody else kind of has stopped ish. Now my younger son is starting to do them again, but yeah, this he can have like in his lunch.
Yum. Yeah. You'll have to take a picture of that one and put it in the chat.
Yeah. Okay, so are you done? Because I wanted to ask a question. I wanted
I
to
don't know
ask a
if Mary-
question that
Was it a question about gut protocol?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can go there because I don't know if Mariana had a question too. You started to say something too earlier.
well, it's a question in relation to it's not from me, it's from one of my clients.
Yeah.
And I already gave my ideas and she was on here and I don't know where she went. But I know that she's on the East Coast and she goes to bed early because she gets up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So it was already a push for her to be on the call right now. She's like, I have to go to sleep. But yeah, so she is, I can't remember what bracket she is in, but She leaves at, okay, so she gets up at like 4. She eats her first meal at like 5:15, which is usually eggs and veggies. And then she drops her daughter off at school at like 7:15 in the morning, and then immediately goes to work, and doesn't get a lunch break. She gets 2 15-minute break, leaves at 2:15 to then go from like school pickup line to school pickup line, and doesn't get home until 4:15.
Yeah.
So she's
got
gone
a
from
big
7:15 to
window where she's not
4:15.
eating. Yeah.
Right. So she's like, I have my shake, but I am able to eat at my desk. But so she's like eating hummus and carrots at her desk, which I told her, I'm like, well, that takes a lot of chewing. Takes a lot of time to eat that. So I'm
Mhm.
like, maybe something else. I don't know. And I did, I told her to have her shake on her way to taking her daughter to school, or going to work from dropping off her daughter, and then fill in those 15-minute windows with something else she can get in her mouth in those window times. But any other ideas of foods, because she is in one of the higher brackets. I don't remember where she is, if she's in D or E at this point. So
Yeah, that was my thought too. Adding another container into those eggs.
Mhm.
Adding, make the shake the second you're out the door, and then drink it, 20 minutes later or whatever you can do within that 30 minutes.
Do overnight oats as one of her meals throughout the day.
To take, yeah, that because it'd be
take
already
overnight
made and you
oats.
could just eat it. Or hard-boiled eggs, maybe do a different type of breakfast that she can make fast, but then do hard-boiled eggs later.
What about the egg cups?
With or the egg cups, then, and put veggies in them. Because those would be fast to eat. If you're sitting there,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's got to be some snack. I know there's a bunch of snack ideas I've seen, like little snack boxes, and you just throw some things in there.
How about the turkey cucumber roll-ups?
Yeah, I just don't know if you're going to want the processed meat. That's
You could
what I was
substitute
thinking,
chicken.
Lily. If you could do something where you made like little meatballs or something, and then just, then you'd have like 3 or 4 days worth of snack boxes, and they'd have these little meatballs in them. I don't know what our situation is for refrigeration or that kind of thing, but then it would be something you made versus processed.
Yeah.
Does she have the ability to microwave when she's at her desk? Do you know?
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know.
Because I mean, she could just make up a meal if she's gonna meal prep like chicken and vegetables, and then just microwave it really quick.
Yeah, and her 15-minute break, microwave
Well,
it, and then eat it while she's at her desk.
There's a
Yeah.
Mediterranean salad I make all the time, but it's a lot of chewing. But that can sit all day at room temperature, right? Because there's nothing in it that's going to go anywhere. It's just olive oil and lemon and veggies and chickpeas. So yeah, maybe things like that, but maybe something that's more compact so she can eat it faster. There's even those little turkey meatloaf in the muffin tins that you can do.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of stuff where it's going to be a good amount of protein too. Because that's what she's going to have to fill in probably the most, right? Protein and vegetables. And you could probably throw some rice cauliflower in those meat muffins. And then
okay. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the things that gets kind of intense as you get up into the higher brackets is the greens.
Yeah. And then,
Gets to be a lot.
when you get home and you haven't eaten all day, you're like, I'll just eat whatever's there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what she's running into, or she's, going through a drive-through, and it's like, so, and it's like, well, yeah, because you're not eating. Like you gotta eat.
She could
I would
always-
not make it that long.
She could always do a vegetable soup of some sort. And I know I bought a couple thermoses and just warm it up before she leaves, throw it in the thermos, and it'll be good to go when she's ready for it. I used to do that when I was driving around all the time.
Yeah, Jack and I did that this morning with chili.
Did you?
He put a bunch of hot water in the thermos so it gets warm, and then put your hot chili in it.
Yeah.
Mm,
You can also do wraps with like hummus and vegetables, and you can make them ahead of time, like little pinwheels.
You just the wraps.
yeah, but the wraps are
protocol a
hard.
little tricky because but you could do the collard green wrap we did, that veggie wrap we did. That was really good and would hold together. And then you're
Mhm.
getting more veggies in too.
Right,
A little chicken in it.
right.
Yeah.
These are all great ideas. See, and that's why I was like, somebody else other than me, because I'm like, I don't know. I'm very simple. I don't, I am so simple. I eat the same stuff. It's like when I start getting bored with it, I just change like one thing and then I eat that. Like it's,
I'm the same
I
way.
don't,
Same thing.
I'm just like somebody else with ideas.
Yeah.
You should look up on the blog, look up protein on the blog and see what comes up. Maybe there's a way to modify it so that she can take it with her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, I would look too for depending on the refrigeration or the heating or how that
Yeah.
goes, what she's comfortable with. But some things after they're cooked, and if they start cold in the morning and then they'll just get to room temperature, that's probably fine, right? So if,
Mhm.
like an
Yeah.
egg plate or a little meatloaf tin kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
think
really
you'll
like the idea of the meatloaf with the rice cauliflower. That's like really, that's really good.
Hello,
It's ringing. Hello.
It's not me.
it's Mariana.
Oh, it's not me this time.
Yeah, no, I think those would all be, and as we're going through this, hopefully people are sharing like what they're snacking on and things, that way people get some ideas too. And maybe that's a time to have your fruit, right? So have apple and maybe a
Mhm.
little peanut butter or something that's going to have some fat and something to help sustain her. And then you maybe have a little more protein. Like when I was kind of backed up on my veggies, then I would do a stir fry when I got home, right? Because that you can get
Yeah.
3 cups in easy with that. And it was always, then
Yeah.
you have so much volume, it's totally sasatisfying, right? Or that hearty miso soup from the gut protocol. I mean, the
Oh,
reset.
yeah. Yeah.
That's always a great way to get a ton of veggies in, and you get a fermented food with miso. So,
Yeah. That's true. Okay.
yeah.
Great ideas. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah. Okay, I think I have covered all the points I wanted to make sure we knew. And I think as we get into this, the most important, the simplest way about this is to get ingredients and not try to get packaged foods and have the packaged food fit into the container, right? So in this first week, it'd be a great idea on Sunday to just make a whole bunch of roasted vegetables, to have some brown rice, to have some chicken, to have some ground turkey patties, whatever sounds good to you. And just have those things ready. And then, you put them together in different bowls. I find olive oil and lemon juice go a long way with a lot of things. If you don't want to make a dressing, there are tons of great dressings in the Ultimate Reset. And I'll share those too. Ginger miso is one of my favorites. And I don't eat soy, so I swap out the miso for a chickpea miso. So it's still a fermented food and it tastes the same. And then coconut aminos instead of soy sauce. So all of those, you just kind of find your groove with putting together the containers and then you kind of mash it all together and it tastes great.
I do a lot of bowls.
Yeah,
I do a lot of bowls. Like, I mean, that's my lunch every single day. And actually actually my whole family eats them. And that's what we're doing tonight too. We're doing like a fajita style bowl.
Yeah.
Because we really like Mexican food. So we eat it twice a week.
Mhm.
And they're fajita bowls. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And I wasn't on cooking tonight. My son was on cooking because we're really trying to get him to start cooking because he needs to know how to cook since one left our house and barely knows how to cook and lives off of fast food plenty. So we're working really hard with this one because he has the food sensitivities that are really bad. Like his brother has them too, but I mean, he's got a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, so what we like to do is we'll bulk cook. We cook like whenever we actually do make like veggies at night, you know, we do a lot of frozen vegetables. And we'll do like at least 2 bags of green beans, if not 3. We'll do 4 bags of that rice cauliflower from Sam's at one time. So, and we make it like, there's a taco meat recipe in Fixate that is, that's called like cauliflower tacos. I think that's what it's called. And we basically use that as like the seasonings that we use. And we have altered them a little bit because we've just done it so much that we don't bother using measuring spoons. Plus we use a lot more cauliflower. So we're just throwing a lot of seasonings in, but that's basically what we do. And it is so super, super good. You just mix that with the rice and with everything else. And it's just so good.
Love it. Yeah. And oh, I guess we didn't touch on Fixate recipes. So there is a listing of some that are gut protocol friendly. But if there's one you want to try, reach out because like I found a lot of them just needed to have one ingredient scrapped and it was usually sugar. Like for instance, there's a Indian dish, masoor dal, which is a lentil dish that I love, and it has coconut sugar in it. So I just left it out. And there's really nothing else in there that's not gut protocol approved. And I did not notice the difference. So, you know, things like that where, you know, it might not be on the list, but there might be a way to tweak it if it's something you want to try or do. And there's just so many good recipes in there. I made the I don't know how to say it. Birria tacos. It's BIRRIA, instant pot tacos, from Fixate 2 nights ago, and they were amazing. They are not protocol friendly, so you can have them after you're done. But they're amazing. So yes, put them on your list because they're corn tortillas and some cheese in there. And I don't think you want to miss out on those 2 things when you make them. Yeah, what else? What else do we need to trying to remember all the things, you know, in the chat is going to be the perfect place to throw in any and all questions. And then on Monday, we'll start checking in with workouts. Some of us have started checking in on workouts. You can start now, you can start Monday, but on Monday, get in that habit of getting into the group, log your workout, go and, you know, give other people some high fives or some, you know, whatever, some hearts, whatever you want to give, that they've logged their workout. And we'll just keep encouraging each other through the whole thing.
And read your labels, every single label.
We need a shirt.
Even when
Did
you
read the
think
label?
it doesn't have sugar, it probably has sugar.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
got to turn
I think
everything
we
over.
commented somewhere about the vegetable broth, because I think you brought it up again, Sue, right? And vegetable broth had sugar in it. So literally every single label, turn it.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Most
Don't assume
ketchup has
anything.
sugar. Most barbecue
You know,
sauce
I
has
know.
sugar.
You're like, yeah,
So
I knew.
Turn it around.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll
But
be
see,
the t-shirt.
thing is, if you're not really looking at it or you're not trying to eliminate that added sugar, you wouldn't even think to look for
Wouldn't
sugar in
even-
vegetable broth, right? So
Well, and if you're like buying canned tomatoes, you're like, I'm buying canned tomatoes, right? Or I'm buying vegetable broth. Why would that have sugar in it? And then you turn it around and some brands are like, hey, here's a whole bunch of
I
sugar.
have a question. I have a label.
Oh, good.
I think I had another one, but I can't remember what it was anymore. That's
Okay.
great.
So this is going to be a kind of a dumb question. All right. So organic marinara sauce
Yes.
Okay. Chunky sauce, pastas, vegetables, meats, bread. 0 added sugar. My question is, why does it contain soy and milk?
Well, the soy is probably the salt they decided to add or some kind of emulsifier. So what are the ingredients?
Organic tomato puree, water, organic tomato paste, dried tomatoes, tomato juice, salt, organic dried onion, organic expeller pressed soybean oil. So there's the soy. Parmesan cheese, is that the dairy?
Yep.
There it is. Okay. So I guess if I'd have just read the whole darn thing,
That one's out.
I would have answered my own question, right?
Turn it around.
I just looking at the no sugar, and then I get it home and I'm like, well, shoot, this has soy and milk. What the heck? I'm not eating this.
Yeah, but that's a good thing to bring up. So something to be aware of, right? There are tomato sauces that don't have added sugar. Rouse is a popular brand. I know Safeway's brand has a version like Rouse that is also just fine. Just make sure you're turning that label over and that there's no added sugars, right?
Right.
And if, well, we don't even need to get in the red, it's just a green, right? So a half a cup, I believe, is of green is because it's pureed and more condensed, but I believe it's a half a cup. Half a green is a full green. Make that confusing
Well,
more, right?
why would they put cheese and stuff in here? That makes
Oh,
no
they do
sense.
that to a lot of pasta sauces.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah, there's a
Mhm.
lot that have dairy in them.
I'm just
Make
not
it taste
used to
good.
Yeah,
buying, the
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That'll just have to.
Being having a kid that has, the dairy sensitivity and the sugar sensitivity. I cannot even tell you how many times I've been, both Scott and I are both just like, are you serious?
Right.
Why does this have sugar in it? This is sweet enough just as it is. Why? And then to boot, there's usually more than one. And it's like, why?
Right.
Just
Yeah.
why?
Oh.
Can we just not? Like, it drives me crazy. So yeah. So I found it's organic cashew milk cream cheese.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ingredients: organic cashew milk, which contains organic cashews, filtered water, organic coconut cream, sea salt cultures. That's it.
Technically right. She said no vegan cheeses because it's processed. But if you're on maintenance,
Yeah.
I don't see that as being an issue. Do you know what I mean? But if this is your first time through the gut protocol, Autumn
Right.
did say no vegan cheeses.
This is true. This is
Because of
true.
the-
Yes,
because of the
but
Because it's too processed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally live the gut protocol lifestyle.
I totally get it. And that's why
And
I
I
had
have-
the caveat of I understand you've gone through this and you understand your sensitivities, but for the general public, no
Yes,
vegan
correct. So I want to know though how I would containerize it. It is so I cannot even believe 1 ounce of it. It's like that seems like a lot. That would be a lot to me. 28 grams of it. Anyway, but so it's 90 calories. Let's see, total fat grams is 8. Carbs is 4. Protein is 3.
You're probably at a blue. I mean, cashews are a blue, and
1 fiber, 1 gram of fiber, 1 total gram of 1 gram of sugar, which it's natural because it's not added sugars. So 4
we should
carbs.
touch on that too. There are going to be naturally occurring sugars. The line the line you're worried about is the added sugar line. So there's going to be natural sugars in tomato sauce, but you don't want added sugars. So that's the line below the sugars.
Right. Right.
What is the
Although-
limit for fat in a blue container?
Ugh, don't know.
Do you know?
Don't know.
Okay.
No, but isn't the a tomato not tomato sauce, pasta sauce, isn't it 5 grams or less sugar?
Well, yeah,
is-
so
uh,
the goal, but that's including added even. Like as long as the
Yes.
total is 5 grams, then you can count it as a green. If it's
Right.
more than 5 grams, then you're counting it as a purple. Yeah. But she
Right.
didn't really talk about that much in the gut protocol stuff. It was more in the portion fix, because you're being so careful about not having any added sugars that you should
Right.
be at like that threshold to be a green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. I was just kind of curious. I've never actually seen this, and I was so shocked that there weren't any gums, that there wasn't any like
Right.
extra stuff. I was just like, because it's just so incredibly rare. And that my store actually was carrying it.
Well, you'll have to test it
But-
out and see.
Well, I didn't buy it because I'm like, I don't have anything that I need it for right now.
Right. Yeah.
But
no, it's there.
yes, but I know it's there, and yeah. So that's exciting. More for this one over here than for me.
Yeah.
Yep. So
All right. So, real quick tomorrow, you'll also see, if you're new to the groups, you'll also see we have Funky Fridays. And I think I forgot to put this, I better put that in tonight for this group. But there's a Funky Friday tomorrow. We just all do something similar, right? Like we have a theme for the Friday. Tomorrow is Wear an Orange Shirt Day. We take our pictures, Lily puts together an amazing collage, and we celebrate our community. So each Friday there's a different theme. So I'll make sure those get in the group. And then Sunday is meal prep class. And I said this in the chat, but I want to say it again, like you do not have to make what we're making. I mean, it is about community. It's about hanging out together and really getting some work done. I mean, we cook that 60 to 90 minutes and we have a lot of stuff accomplished by the end of it and get set for the week. And it's just a great time to focus in on meal prepping and getting in that habit, because you will find with the gut protocol and with any nutrition plan, the prep is key, right? It is how you stay successful, having the food ready that you want to be eating. So I encourage you to join us if you can. It's 11 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern, and it will be recorded. They're always recorded and up on my YouTube and in the group. So there's also, I don't think we did March. I think it was just April, May, and June were all gut protocol recipes. So those also have some really great things in there. The vegan Buddha bowl was outstanding. I'm going to definitely be making that during this 4 weeks. And so, yeah, so check that out. And everybody loved the Mexican tofu breakfast. I just added that also into our groups because that's an alternative if you're not doing eggs. So you can do the Mexican tofu scramble in place or come up with your own breakfast. I will likely be making some cauliflower rice and steel cut oats for mine. So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that.
it's so good. Now I will say this, don't do it with blueberries though. It's like it makes the flavor of the cauliflower come out. I don't know what
Oh,
happened.
really?
The banana is the way to go. Maybe you could do like some other kind of fruit, but for some reason the blueberries were just not a go. And I love blueberries and steel cut oats, but with the rice cauliflower, it was not a match.
Huh.
Not sure what happened. Yeah, and I'm gonna pare down my little drizzle of peanut butter to an actual teaspoon too.
Not an autumn teaspoon.
do we need
No,
a picture?
I'll do an actual measured teaspoon. So yeah, I think that's it, right? And then we start Monday. So
Picture.
put all your questions.
Mom,
Picture.
Oh yeah, you want
I'm
to
gonna do this.
Scott?
Okay, go.
Oh,
for
do
it.
it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I just opened it.
Everybody smile first. I'm gonna take a
I
picture.
literally just opened it.
Perfect. Cheese. Thanks, Scott.
Hey,
Oh,
Scott.
Jacob.
Oh,
Okay,
awesome.
here, I'll get Jacob in there too. Ready? All right, very nice.
Nice.
Once
All
you're
right.
in my glass.
So I will say too, I have been doing cranberry juice, like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
no sugar, straight concentrate cranberry juice.
Is it better?
And it really does take out some of that
The
flavor
bitter.
I think people are not enjoying. And but then you're just chugging unsweetened cranberry juice. So it
Mhm.
deflects a little bit, but
Well,
I don't mind it either way.
I didn't pick up the cranberry juice, so it just water.
There you go. Bottoms up.
So
It's got a little aftertaste to it.
yeah, it wasn't bad till the aftertaste.
Yeah. Your
It's kinda
facial
grapey.
expression was not that bad.
Yeah,
No,
you
not
did a
at
good
all.
job.
I was
No.
expecting something really bad.
Yeah, yours was not even close to
Well-
as bad as a lot of the other facial expressions,
As
like
Kate's
mine,
and yours.
Kate's. Yeah, no.
I mean,
Mine's
I
like-
was expecting it worse.
Perfect.
guess
So we've
with a
set it
lot
up
of-
so that it tastes good now. No.
Exactly.
A
Now
lot
you'll
of
get
stuff I've had to
perfect.
take for like medical procedures before. This is
Right.
not as bad. So,
And
There you
I've
go.
been having it right away when I get up in the morning, and it's
Yeah.
been really good. Like I feel like I don't even have my Energize now for a couple hours because I just don't even feel like
okay.
I need it. Like it's really interesting. It's been a fascinating thing.
well, I wanted the
Alright, well,
true
you'll have to let
feeling
us
and
know.
the true first taste, you know?
I love it.
Well, if
All
you
right.
don't need the cranberry juice, then yeah.
Yeah,
that's
just do it.
More power to you. Cause yeah, I was like sucking it with a straw, holding my nose. I mean, it had gotten serious.
We
Yeah,
had so
that's-
many great videos when we were in St. Louis. That was
Summit.
so funny.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what it's in there. It might be the
Ashwagandha.
ashwagandha.
Yeah, they didn't really say what the culprit was. It could be a number of things in there because
Because I think I've got pills that are that, and it almost tastes like the same thing.
Oh, interesting, maybe. Yeah. Well, good. Now you know what you've got yourself into.
Yes, now I know.
But I can't, it'll be interesting to see how you feel each day. Like,
Yeah.
you know, what things you notice and how it's going.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everyone, we'll get off here and we'll see you in the group and in the chat. And next Thursday, I'll be hosting this call from Wisconsin. So
Okay. See you guys in the morning.
see you later. Have a
See ya.
great
Sounds good. Night.
Have a good day. Bye.